Welcome back to Croch80hd. I'm your host, Jackie. If this is your first time visiting, you are a one-hit wonder. I'm glad you're here. If you are a repeat offender, a member of the GlamFam, did your baloney have a first name? For those of you who don't know, Croch80hd, crochet, the 80s, and ADHD, because you get a little bit of all of that in every episode. Today's episode, I'm actually a little bit miffed about something. But before I go into that, I do want to show you a couple of finished objects. I know I'm supposed to do that at the end of the month. And for all intents and purposes, it's the end of the month. So first things first, ta-da! Yeah, I showed this, I want to say it was on my last video, and I haven't blocked it yet. Okay, so this was the sweater that I had shown in the last video. I had just held it up, and anyway, I love her. I haven't blocked her. Oh, that's what I was saying. I haven't blocked it yet because the weather here has just been so ridiculous. I mean, hot flash, mood swing, whatever you want to call it. Today, it's like 82 degrees, and it's what, February 23rd. I'm scared to see what May 23rd is going to look like at this point. That isn't what I wanted to complain about. I got one more thing to show you though. I have made 3 Bougie t-shirts now. Sweatshirt. I made this one short sleeve, but if you'd seen on Instagram and also on the community page, which by the way, y'all should take a look at my community page, because I'm trying to use it a little more often. And usually, like if I see sales happening, or if I want to do a quiz, or trivia or stuff, I don't know, I'm using that in between filming and uploading videos. So I got this idea from, I was watching a video, and the woman in the podcast, she was wearing something very similar. She had navy and white stripes on hers, and the top was like this melony color, and I just couldn't get it out of my mind. So dove into some stash. This is Mary Maxim Ultra Mellow Spun DK that they've discontinued. And let's see, this color is melon, this color here is robin's egg, and this color here is dark taupe. And knowing that Lynn Ann of Nina's Knots Crochet has her camera right here, she has the same colors, and she can probably make her own if she hasn't already started, because, you know, I'm pretty sure I found the cameras though. The pattern is actually, it is Grace for the frills. It's called her like holiday ruffle top or something. And I omitted the ruffles, but also I changed the stitch, because initially the original pattern calls for a double crochet, and I changed to the linked double crochet stitch, which if y'all have not used that, it takes a while. It kind of takes a little bit to get used to, but it prevents all of the gaping that you normally see with a double crochet stitch. And because this is acrylic, I don't really think I can block it. I read somewhere that with acrylics or synthetic fiber, you, what do you call it? You spritz block it. I know that's not the right word, but I can't think of what it is. I am trying my hardest not to start another Bougie sweatshirt. I am addicted to these things, and see, I used a contrast color right here in the back, so that I know the front from the back. Although it is kind of easy to tell also because of my join, which you can kind of see right here. It stops right here only because once I split for the sleeves, I also moved the seam. So the seam goes down one side. I know what I did wrong here. So my next in the round project, hopefully this won't be here anymore. Okay. What's the tea? All right. So apparently February is the unofficial start of pattern test season for Jackie. All right, so I'm currently testing 2 patterns. No big deal, except the first one I'm doing, I'm going to not say any names because I want to protect the innocent, because I don't want to get sued. Yeah, I'm gonna go with that. In this pattern, it is like a vest kind of thing, and you make one side and then you make the other side. Well, the way the pattern is written, in my opinion, initially, like when we first got the pattern, it was all over the place. So she had like all of the special stitches and sequences and stuff like that. She didn't have it at the beginning of the pattern. She had it all the way at the end, and it was a lot. And also it's printed in the landscape as opposed to portrait, which I also don't like. Am I wrong in thinking that this is unique? Now, out of all the patterns that I've ever used, and especially out of all the patterns I've ever tested, this is only the second one that I've seen that prints this way. To me, it uses too much paper because, and I hate patterns that won't allow you to, I guess, like before you print it, you know, if it has like size extra small, small in this grouping, and then size medium, large in this grouping, I don't want to print out the small, extra small, small. I want to be able to, like, you know, remove that and just print my size as if it was catered to me, which I think if I purchase the pattern, I should be able to do that because I don't need superfluous information. Yeah, I'm cheap, especially when it comes to ink. Now, I mean, and everybody has their whatever. I don't have a color printer. I mean, I do, but it doesn't have any color ink. So, but the printer that I use most of the time is a LaserJet printer, and it's black and white. I want to be able to print out just the size I need. So anyway, I print out this pattern before, you know, when we first got it. And after some discussion back and forth with the testers and the designer, she took our opinions and revamped the pattern. Wow! And now we're supposed to print it out. Well, again, it's still this way. And I'm like, look, I don't want to reprint this pattern because the changes that were made did not affect the size that I was making. So why should I? Have you ever looked at a pattern, worked the pattern, and then you get to the point where you start to wonder if you even know how to crochet? This is where I'm at. Because, okay, I'm crocheting and I'm reading the pattern. I even put it down for a couple of days because, you know, I'm like, woosah. And then I picked it up today. And I'm sitting in quiet, aka my car in the parking lot. Doesn't matter why. I'm focusing on this pattern. I didn't bring any other projects to work on because sometimes, you know, I'll grab a pattern. Yeah, I'll grab a project or two to bring with me in case I get bored or I just don't want to. So I didn't even bring a secondary backup project to work on. So I'm like, okay. And I'm pretty sure I had a solid hour of parking lot time. Anyway, so I'm looking and I'm stitching and I'm stitching and I'm stitching. And the first time I have 7 stitches too many. Okay, turns out
I was putting, like I would do the beginning chain and then I would stitch in that very first stitch.
You know, and you're supposed to skip it because that chain counts as a... All right, whatever. So frogged it, because I'm learning. Frogged it back to where I knew I had made this mistake. Redid it. Now I have 2 stitches too few.
What?
Frogged it, restitched it, still 2 stitches too few. And I said, you know what? I can figure out how to add in these stitches somewhere. So I continue. And then I'm looking at the comments, because at this point I had to put my phone away so I did not throw it, because the feedback I was getting.
You forgot to do one this here.
Nope, I did that.
You didn't do a da-da-da-da-da here.
What? Yeah, I did. It's right here. It's right here. So moving right along. And then I'm like, yay! I got the correct stitch count, and I had finished like panel 1. And my panel is supposed to measure 9.5 inches. I lay it down on a flat surface. I'm no longer in my car, by the way. I lay it down on a flat surface, take the measuring tape out, 11 inches. First of all, so-and-so said that I had skipped like two row repeats. So if I had gone back and added the repeats, even though they were already there, that means my length would have been even longer than the too long part. So now, this is the genius. So now the feedback is, oh, and this is not coming necessarily from the designer. This is just, hive mind. Okay.
Maybe you should re-swatch with a smaller hook.
When I first did my first swatch before I started this whole thing, I started with a 5mm. I started with a 5.5. What size did I start with? I started with a 5.5mm. That was too big. Then I went down to it initially called for a 4.5mm, and I don't remember what happened. Okay, I'm lying. I don't even remember. You know what? I know I swatched 3 times before I got the correct width. I don't even remember what the height was, honestly. So now I'm working with a worsted weight yarn with a 5mm hook. And my fabric is kind of stiff. And the designer said she really, really highly recommended us to use an acrylic yarn. Well, I'm using I think it's 80/20 acrylic wool. But with a 5mm hook, and I'm a loose stitcher, okay? I'm a loose 5mm hook, and I mean, I don't know. She said that the acrylic was going to make for better drape. I don't have drape. I got like 4 days post-mortem.
Maybe you should stitch with a smaller hook.
I said no, because here's why. Then I get,
maybe you should change yarn. Maybe you should use a lighter yarn.
No. And also, because I just have to be extra, I am using a variegated or color changing or whatever it is. It's a Karen cake, changing colors. And because I have to make 2 panels, I really wanted the 2 to line up. So after I finished panel 1, I went and I dug all of the extra color out to the next color change, so I could line it up. Well, turns out that I didn't get it quite right. So after I had worked probably about this much, I realized that my colors were not matching up. So I was like, fine. And I went through, pulled even more and more out. And I said, this looks perfect. And so I started again. And it still doesn't match up. It's like mostly white, whereas the first side is maybe 3/4 white, and then it changes into a purple. So now I have mostly white, like average white band. I don't know. They don't match. So that means, in case you're not keeping count, I have done this one little front panel piece 4 times. And all I have is the front piece. I still have to do a whole back panel, and I don't even remember what happens after that. Yes, I brought this on myself in that I signed up to test this pattern. But I really feel like I'm getting bullied, y'all. I'm too sensitive. I can't. I'm mad. And you know something else I'm mad about? And this ain't gonna make no sense, okay? I was watching Rochelle, Queen's Yarn Boutique. And she was reading questions like, what is your favorite hook? And, you know, she was kind of going over these things that she had asked people over the last couple of months. And one of the questions is, what is your favorite stitch? Now, and this is for crocheters. So my favorite stitch is the half double crochet. Why is it when I heard her say it, I immediately got angry? Because here's why. Okay. You got a single crochet and you got a double crochet. And of course, you know, this is American terms, because I know that the UK stitch is different. And I think the UK terminology makes more sense, but I digress. Single crochet, double crochet, half double crochet is in between. However, have you ever said half double out loud? It's like ordering a drink at Starbucks, because a triple couple, blah, blah, blah. Half double makes no sense. Because double is like 2 and half of that would be 1. So shouldn't that be a single crochet? I got mad. I got so mad because I'm like, why are we perpetuating this stupid thing? That's not proper English. That's not even mathematically, that doesn't work out. The maths don't math. What? Half double crochet. Don't get me wrong, because I do love the half double crochet. It's like, it's like the prettiest stitch on the planet, but the name just, I'm gonna be okay. Oh yeah, there was something else I wanted to, how are we doing on our shalalala? My shalalalong shawl. I'm saying shawl, but I don't know. It's a shawl. His mama called him a shawl. I'm gonna call it a shawl. Here she is. Da-da-da-da-da-da. So the last time I showed this, it was like somewhere in this stage. And this is using the nonsensical narrative yarn from WonderlandYarns. And I said that I was trying to figure out how to work in the mock turtle. And, well, I did. Da-da, da-da, da-da. I really, really love that green. I don't know if I could pull off like a solid green thing, but she sure is pretty. And with the other yarn, was it the City Lights on Wet Pavement, the black, it's predominantly black and it's got little spritz of color in it. Green is one of the spritz of color in it. So what I am working on next is going to have that yarn with the mock turtle in it also. So I'm excited. Anyway, look, y'all, the bounce just don't quit. It just I love it so much. I know y'all are going to get tired of me, and I'm seeing more pictures. People are finishing their shawls. They are so, so pretty. Everybody is doing such a wonderful job. And I wanted to show you another one of the prizes. Are you ready? Can you? Come on now. Yes, it is a beautiful cherry furls hook. And I got in my favorite size. Can I get it there? It's a 5.5 millimeter eye hook. I love furls. I love furls. I'm sorry, that did sound weird, but I love furls. A furls hook is also included in the yummy, what is the word I'm looking for? Stack of goodies for the sha-la-la-la. If you like this video, please like this video. And if you would love to stick around and become a member of the GlamFam, you can do that by hitting that subscribe button. And by all means, do not forget to rock that notification bell. Until next time, I've been Jackie.